The largest deal you closed was how much? How big was the largest deal?
This one, 48. It was a $48 million deal.
$48 million deal. It was a residential development in Latin America, correct?
Correct.
An international deal, and you made $480,000.
Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations. There are just too many commercial loan brokers that don't have a damn clue of what they're doing. All we're trying to do here is better the industry for everybody. At the end of the day, you can make great money in this industry, but in the end, it's all about helping people. You know, people always say, Chris, how can I be a successful broker? It's two words, hard work and dedication. If you don't like talking to people, you probably shouldn't be in this business. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Entrepreneurs in Finance, where we interview graduates and lenders of our training program and take a deep dive into what they're doing and what's life like as a CCTG graduate. And today I'm very excited to interview our second couple. We've done a couple on here before that have come through our training as business partners, but I'm very excited to interview Julio and Jania of Prime Wealth Development. Hey, guys.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Good. You know, last time I saw you was, a couple years ago at the conference, at our yearly conference, right? In Miami.
Yes, we had a very nice time. I recall very, very good conference. We really, really enjoyed it.
Good. Yeah, no, it's a long time no see. And I appreciate you guys coming on and kind of sharing your experience with us here. You know, for me, this is great because, I mean, not only do I get to see you guys again and we can kind of talk, but I love to interview husband and wife teams. I think it's important. We have a lot of husband and wife teams that come through here. So I think people will find this very, very insightful. We've only had one other Rachel and the Sheehans, right? Yeah, the Sheehans. They were on. But now I'm excited to interview you guys. And I think, you know, reading over kind of what you guys have done since training, and you and I were talking a little bit before. You have a couple offices. I'm a little bit fascinated with your model and how you've progressed. So let's start off by me asking, I mean, was this a first business venture for you two together, or have you done business ventures together before?
No.
Husband and wife.
The first one.
And you guys are still together, so that means that, you know, it's successful. So tell me what life was like prior to CCTG for both of you, and both of you can answer, you know, because I know your wife has a very impressive background as well, but we'll start with her. Ladies first.
Thank you. Well, I'm an anesthesiologist for about 20 years now. Nothing changed for me with Prime Wealth Development. I'm still working at the hospital and working with Julio. This has been a whole adventure for us, a great one. And I'm enjoying my part of the deal with Julio.
Well, yeah, I mean, someone needs to whip him in shape once in a while, right? I mean, someone's got to crack the whip, and right?
And it's interesting, Chris, because even though she's not involved in the day-to-day, I like to smoke cigars. So I take a cigar a couple of nights per week. And that's the time when I sit with her and I tell her, I'm having these type of deals. And because she went with me to the CCTG training, she knows about SBAs, real estate, bridge loans, fix and flip.
Yeah.
And believe me, she gives me very good advice on those deals. I'm telling her, you know, the roadblocks I'm facing. So I look forward to that time when I speak to her on those nights.
That's like advisor. Yeah, and you know, and that's why I always encourage partners or husband and wife teams, or even if the wife or husband is not involved, to be here when we do training, because they get a better understanding about what it is what it is your family is now going through, right? I mean, they have an understanding, so it's great that you guys can bounce ideas off one another.
Definitely. And I, Chris, as you know, I've been in finance all of my life. I was a finance director for some multinationals like Johnson and Johnson or Bristol Myers Squibb, lately with Chanel, the French company. And then one day, Chris, all of a sudden, you know, these restructurings that these multinationals do, I found myself without a job, and it was tough. I tell you, thinking what I'm going to do, am I going to reinvent myself? And one decision I took was I will not go back to the corporate world. I want to work by myself, have my own company. I recall going through internet, looking for finance franchises, and then CCTG appeared, and the rest is history. We went to the training. But yeah, I'm coming from a financial background, and but I'm extremely happy now.
Well,
working is something different.
yeah. So now, originally, you guys you guys are based out of Miami. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's correct.
Based
That's
out of Miami. And now, though, you are sitting in probably beautiful Panama, correct? So now you have an office in Panama, I take it.
Yeah, we are with time. I was living in Panama, but spending like 3 weeks, a month in Miami with this business. And then after about a year, I realized there was a huge potential for international business. So we opened the Panama office, and right now I would say it's about 50-50 between the US and the international deals that we're doing. With COVID, I'm staying at this moment more in Panama, but yeah, as soon as I can go back, it's interesting. It's challenging, a lot of travel, but I just love it. So we're good.
Yeah, well, it's proof you could do this model from anywhere. I mean, really, you know, it doesn't even have to be in the United States.
Definitely. I talk to my clients from my house, from the office, from the hotel room, from my cell phone. Yeah, it's a great business model.
Yeah. So tell me about, before I get into kind of the success you're having with it and you have had, first of all, when did you come through training? Do you remember when?
It was March 2019.
March 2019. Okay. And Jania, what did you think when he said, "Hey, I found this company in New York," and first of all, what package did you purchase?
The platinum.
The platinum package. So when he said, "I'm going to invest, you know, $68,000 for this company in New York," were you like, "You're crazy," or did you, you know, what was your reaction?
I remember I just said to him, "Are you sure about this? Are you sure this is not a scam? Did you research about it?" And then he showed me your website, videos, a lot of videos, and that helped us about a lot to know something about you before, you know, jump into this. And then I said, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Now, that day, he doesn't have a job. And I said, let's do this because this is going to be good for us.
Let's go. I recall arriving to Albany for the training Sunday. The training is on Monday, staying at the hotel across the street. And the first thing we did, we left the luggage at the room. We went downstairs and we went to see the building because
to see.
Even though we were there, we were like, okay, let's see if these guys, of course, it was close, the building and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a big decision for us.
Yes.
I bet. Yeah. You know, and that's not the first time that's happened. I've heard from graduates, they don't even go to the hotel. They just, they come from the airport and they say, "Take me to our building address." Right. And at the time it was a different address. You know, we moved a little bit down the street now to a bigger office, but you know, they said, "Take me to 90 State Street." And without even going to the hotel, they just wanted to make sure, not even get out of the cab. They just wanted to make sure that, like, okay, there is a building with that address on it because, you know,
Exactly.
rightfully so. Okay. So once you found out we did have a building, you know, tell me about what that first morning was like. Monday morning, you know, I walk into the room, I open up the training. I mean, what, were you guys nervous? Were you excited? Were you, you know, tell me about those emotions, both of you. If you want to comment.
I think at least my feeling, I went from I recall walking into the training room. You were not there still, but we were the last ones to arrive. So the room is full of people, 12, maybe
Yes,
12 of us, some couples, and you could feel the anxiety on the face. You could see it, everybody was sitting like, okay, and what are we doing here? And then as the week progressed, my feeling, I went from being in doubt to being excited, being confident, wanting to get home to start the business.
Yes.
So the person, as I walked into the room on Monday morning, and as I walked out of the room on Friday evening to go to the dinner, I was a different person.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And what about you?
Yes. I was stressed same as Julio, and then I become to be very motivated. Listening you and all the guys in CCTG,
John and Matt.
it was very motivated. I started to learn with you about this business, and to really comprehend all you were saying to me. So it was I didn't feel that I have to be a financial person to understand all you guys said to us or tell to us or teach to us in that week. It was very amazing.
It's amazing because, again, she's a doctor, nothing to do with finance. And the way she got the concepts of all the information we went through in that week, it's been amazing. She will talk to you about fix and flip, about SBAs, about NCAs, still 2 years later.
So, I mean, this is much easier than being a doctor. Being a doctor is hard. I mean, you got to be smart to be a doctor. This, you don't have to be too smart, So that must have been a break, but that's good to know. I mean, someone coming from a completely different industry like medical, and your ability to comprehend what we were talking about. And, that's one of the things that I love as a teacher. I thrive off, and I love the challenge. Me coming in Monday and everybody's like this.
Yes.
Everybody's like this. Who are you? And I love disarming people, and not through I'm not, we don't, when you're here in class, we're not selling you. You've already been sold, but disarming you with what I call real affirmations from, talking to lenders. And once we get into the program and I see that change, and you could attest to this, the class gets friendlier with one another as the days go on, because everybody, all their guards go down, and it's like, okay, this is a real thing, we make a choice. Yeah.
We really enjoyed that weekend. Every day after the training ended, we went back to the hotel, we had dinner, and we started to work immediately. We didn't have a name for the company. So, and nice discussions. How are we going to call this company? The logo. We spent about a night or 2 nights discussing about the logo. She made the logo for us. So it was pretty intense.
This logo right here?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. She could get a job here. We'll have to replace Alex. That's great. I mean, you guys were excited, and so now you went through the training. You guys get back home. Tell me about your first couple of months. What was the first couple of months like after training?
Well, the first month, we dedicated more to the administrative part. So we were setting up the website with your team, with Alex and the rest of the team. We were setting up our emails. I had to buy a printer, scanner. Before I had IT people who were doing that for me. Now I have to do it for myself. Looking for an office in Miami, and so I would say the first month it was more like administrative. Then we started to talk to the lenders. I called most of the lenders we had met during the training. So getting interviews with them to understand better their loan parameters, how they work. Then we started to get some leads from the website. I am not a guy much of cold calling, so I was like, that was not my thing. Working with the email campaigns, I got into that, preparing those emails. So yeah, then we started to get some calls from the customers. But those first months were, I would say, were kind of tough for us.
Yeah, setting things up. And what, I mean, was that, you said you don't like cold calling. I don't like cold calling either. I mean, I don't know anybody who likes cold calling. But is that part of the reason which led you to buy the platinum package, just because it comes with leads and a lot of other things? Yeah. Okay. All right.
And something that really has worked well for us is LinkedIn. So we've built I think it's a nice profile. I think I have over almost 15,000 contacts in LinkedIn. So, and I've tried to make it, different industries, lending, private equity, healthcare, different industries. Right. So to me, has been a good tool, the LinkedIn part. Yeah.
Yeah, that obviously is a feature of the platinum package. I always ask everybody this because they always remember it. Tell me about your first deal. And if you can go into, like, what was it, and when you closed it, how did you feel? And if you don't mind sharing, what'd you make on that first deal?
$800.
A deal's a deal, right?
A deal is a deal. And we were so happy. We opened a bottle of champagne, and it took a long time, and to get there, it was a fix and flip. But yeah, my God, I still remember it. I still call the guy. We became good friends, and yeah, I really enjoy it. We've been able to get different deals, bigger ones, but that one, very special.
Very special, yeah. Well, hey, the first deal is always a special one.
Exactly.
And I bet you were happy too, right? As a supporter of what's going on here. I mean, you had some pressure, right, Julio? You had some pressure, like, hey, when's the first deal going to close? When's the first deal going to close?
Oh, I remember we spoke a lot at night, and I always ask him, how is the deal going? What the lender say? How is the customer? Where is going to be the letter? What else?
Did you call the lender? Did you follow up?
Yeah.
It was stressful, but finally, when he closed the deal, we were very happy because we realized that this is it. This is like the culmination of what we begin at 2019, and we can do this. And we were anxious to go further and close more deals, and that was very empowering for us.
Empowering, yeah, I could only imagine. And so, did you guys, after that first deal, what's kind of your strategy? What has your strategy been? Have you gravitated towards a certain product segment and concentrate in that segment?
Yes, I personally, I think one of the keys to be successful in this business, you need to like what you do. You really need to love it. And I found that we have many products, different type of products, but I really loved, for some reason, real estate, commercial real estate. That just kills me. I just love it. The whole thing, the fix and flip, the bridge, the constructions, the income producing. And then I found myself studying about real estate, going through websites, understanding better how this works, and learning about different terms. And then I think it was just a matter of the business itself. I started to move into real estate. So our pay the bills product, of course, is the fix and flips. But I would say, Chris, 90% of our loans or our commissions are coming out of real estate deals.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. That's yeah. I mean, you know, a lot of our grads find success. It's a pretty popular arena to concentrate in. Um, so and now, and excuse me for asking, I know I asked you this before, but what month did you come in 19?
March.
March. Okay. So I remember I got to see you again at our annual conference, NACLB conference, or sometimes we call it the reunion conference of our grads.
Yeah.
And that was in October, I believe.
Yes.
Yes.
And you know, tell me what that was like, because now you had like 4 or 5 months, 6 months in the business, and now you go to this conference and you meet all these other graduates. What was that? Was that very helpful to you? Did you learn from that?
Yes, we did, definitely, because we could see. Remember, we had met 10 people in the training. We have met you guys, and then now we walk into not a conference room, a big room, 500 people, 600 people, all the lenders there, the different sections, training sections. So in 30 minutes, you go and talk to one lender, then SBA lenders, then commercial real estate lenders. We had a very nice time during the lunch, breakfast, talking to people. We got to see many of the people that did the training with us. So they were there. So yeah, we really enjoyed it, and the place was perfect.
Yeah, the place was good. Well, we're as you know, we're back in Vegas in October. We had to do a virtual one last year because of COVID. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that, you know, we're going to be live again this year. So I see something here on the notes that Joe took, and I got to ask you about it. I mean, $480,000. Is that accurate?
It is
$480,000, and I'm going to remind. So actually, I'm going to let you do it because it's your accomplishment. I have notes here that's the largest deal you closed was how much? How big was the largest deal?
This one, it was a $48 million deal.
$48 million deal. It was a residential development in Latin America, correct?
Correct.
An international deal, and you made $480,000.
Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations.
We did. We've done some very good loans. That one was very special because that one, Chris, we did it with the #1 developer in the country. And the guy was used to local financing, but also international financing. So when we talked to the guy, you know, he knew about it. He knew about international financing, all the challenges there. He would tell me, I've spoken to, the guy has over 30 years of experience. He's built over 160 buildings, malls, and everything.
How did you come across that deal?
Something that we've learned to do basically is to develop a good referral network. So most of our deals, again, I hate cold calling or are brought to us by this referral network. We give them a good piece of the commission, of course. I learned from you. I spend a lot of time on training them. So when they get in front of the client, they can explain the product. And once they
essentially broadcast your company for you.
Okay,
got it.
They do. And the initial interview with the client, they can explain up to a certain level the process and the products. And then they tell them, if they think it's a fit, then they tell them, well, we can schedule a call with Julio. And then we engage the client. And something we discuss with them is how to spot the clients that we think are going to be a fit, you know, to save time and have success in what we do. So yeah, that's basically, we have a very good referral network, especially in Latin America.
And I bet you with that one, as soon as it started, right? I bet Mrs. Ortiz was asking you every night, "What's going on? What's going on?" I mean, if she was doing that with the $800 commission, I can't even imagine what she was doing with the $480,000 commission.
I follow every deal, Chris.
I bet you follow that one close.
You can imagine, Chris, we're sitting at Tuesday night, I'm having my cigar, a glass of wine or whiskey, and then she sits down and we speak about everything. And then she starts, what's the status of deal A?
No, how was your day today, honey?
How was your day today?
Yeah. And all you want to do is have, and listen, I love cigars too. So I get it. It's relaxation. You just want to have a drink and a cigar. And she's going down an Excel spreadsheet of what's going on with this deal, this deal, this deal.
But that's right. She starts like that, like, how was your day, honey? And I'm like, oh, okay, let's go.
All business. I love it.
Yeah, but again, I enjoy talking to her because she knows, and I tell her, the status of the main deals, and very good advice. I think it's very good when the spouse can accompany to the training. Yeah,
for sure. And how? So that was, when did that close? Was that 2019 or was that 2020?
2020.
2020. Wow. Okay. All right. So that's still that's still a good, that's a win. I mean, for a year that was kind of funky,
Yeah, we, and again, I think it's like anything in life. You need to try to spot, regardless of how difficult the situation is, spot the opportunities. So we found a nice niche of, for instance, international deals that we put together very good developers with lenders who are willing to take the risk internationally. And it's paid off for us. We spend a lot of time searching for those lenders, making sure they understand an international deal. It has its complexities, and also finding the client that understands that it's an international deal. It's not a local banking deal. So, and once we are able to get those two guys together and speak, it's been nice.
That's good. Yeah. Well, and I always say, when there's when you're faced with a challenge, adversity, the people that excel the most adapt. The people that are quick to adapt to what's going on and kind of switch gears, come out very successful on the other side.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
Even though COVID, I don't want to say COVID has been good for us. I don't think it's been good for.
But with COVID, a new doors open for us.
Yeah.
That was a phenomenon we experienced during 2020 with COVID. That doesn't stop the business. All the contrary.
Yeah, well, and I've said this to a lot of graduates. Doing that year, I got a lot of emails of graduates saying, gee, Chris, I didn't really appreciate the model until now because they had to sometimes switch what they were concentrating on based on where the opportunity was, due to COVID affecting what they were originally doing. So, and now they excelled, but they wouldn't have been able to excel if they didn't have the diversity of products that you guys, as you guys walk out with.
Also, the new normality with COVID, that obligates people to work at home. And at the beginning, we have to travel a lot. So that this COVID situation doesn't stop us to doing business because we can do it from home here in Panama.
Right.
Well, that was the other thing that we thought that it was to be an obstacle, but it doesn't.
Right. I mean, could you imagine if you opened up like a restaurant or a bistro? I mean, you would have been shut down.
Yes.
At least here in New York State, a lot of places went out of business, unfortunately. Well, wow, and so it sounds like you navigated COVID good. Tell me what's on the horizon. What are some goals on the horizon for 2021 for you both?
Well, budget-wise, my budget is to double our sales of 2020. I think at least that it's going to be a mix of still having some COVID effects, of course, but then some industries are going to start, picking up. So it's going to be like a mixed year, but I still think there's going to be opportunities there. So we feel pretty confident on 2021. It's just taking advantage of the opportunities when they are there.
Yeah. And what do you think, people that are watching this, what would you attribute to both of your successes with this model? What if you could think of one thing that you could attribute to to your success? And I don't mean, oh, I went through CCTG. I'm not mentioning us personal wise. What things have you attributed to your success?
And a key topic for me was when I understood that this is a relationship business. So at the beginning, Chris, I was thinking, I gotta talk to 15 clients per day and fill out as many applications as I can. But then I found myself having phone calls with the clients and rushing through the phone calls and really not engaging, not understanding the client, not understanding what they wanted. So I was writing the address of the property, the FICO score, the normal thing. But what's behind that? Who's the guy? What has he done before? Has he been successful in what he has been doing? And until I realized that, to me, the way I see it, it's like a matchmaker. I really need to understand the lender, and I really need to understand the customer so I can say, okay, guys, it's time for you to speak. And the other thing is, I was talking to many lenders, I was thinking, whatever customer walks into my business, I'm going to have here 100 lenders. So I just pick, no, at least I could not do it. But now I have 10 lenders, let's say. I really know the guy, I know the secretary, I know the person who does the paperwork, I know the lawyer. I really understand what they want in terms of lending. So I spend quite a bit of my time understanding both the lenders and those customers. And it's been much easier, much more easier. Once I understood it's a relationship business. It's not some, we want to make money, but it's a relationship business. When you close a loan, and then I call all my clients 2, 3 months after, 6 months after, and the guy's happy, or I cannot tell you. They're like, Julio, you helped us. No one was helping us. We were 6 months in the market and we could not find a loan, and you were the one who did it for us. That is gratifying, Chris. So I think that, to me, that was a major change, understanding that it's a relationship business and you need to understand all the players, especially the customer. There's a lot of history, a lot of things there that can help you to close the deal because you know what the guy wants.
Well, and even repeat business. And what, if they'll remember the person that helped them, and you stay in front of them. Like you said, you call your clients 6 months after.
We have some new clients, and they call us and they say like, hey, Joe referred to me, so I want the same you did for Joe. And that's great, because Joe, took the time to tell one of his buddies that we could help him. So yeah, it's once we understood that, I think our business started to
excel. Yeah.
For me, the key is an effective communication between Julio, the lenders, and the clients. And the most important for me is in that communication is listening. Listen, and then you can talk to the people.
Yeah.
And that's very important, because listening to the clients, you can
learn a lot
of information that help Julio bring the right lender for the client and make the deal success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's very important for me, from my perspective, being a good listener, in order to help people. That's it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I mean, I think you have to embrace and really work on that in your business model, and you'll see returns naturally. Um, what's the best thing you love about this business? If you could think of just one aspect of the business, what do you love about it?
Um, the same, helping the people to
Helping.
even we have a person in our team that all he does is once we get a customer and I think the customer is not ready, he needs help financially, and I see potential that we can take that deal to the end. I will tell the customer, hey, talk to Raul is the name of the person, a guy who came from banking. He was a banker, and he will have the spreadsheets. He will even help the customer prepare or finalize his business plan. And all of that is at our risk because we are not charging them. So we are relying on my criteria to say, okay, we can help this guy finish this deal. So when I take that client through finalizing his business plan, his written business plan, doing all the spreadsheet models, and then taking that to the lender, which I know is going to be happy because it's a client that has been prepared to speak to him. And then we close that. It's a feel increase that honestly, again, making money is great, but once you can help the people to do that, it's a great feeling.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. 100.
Yeah.
And the impact of some of those deals in society, it's amazing. We do one with a sport complex that is going to help families to stay in their state, and they have no need to travel to another state. They don't have to spend money on that.
Right.
We did one for social interest housing.
Wow.
We're taking that deal that Jania's mentioning. We have not closed it, but we will, hopefully. We're taking a mall in the US, and the client is going to convert the mall into a youth sports complex.
Wow.
They're going to be 11 sports in that complex. So when you think about it, you have a property right now, retail mall, which is almost vacant, almost empty. And then in a couple of years, it's going to be full of, per month, of 50,000, 100,000 people, families going with their kids to play soccer, to play pickleball, volleyball, basketball. There are going to be hotels, restaurants. So when you say, and in this area, it's going to help 6 or 7 states that do not have this type of complexes or facilities.
Yeah.
You say, my God, we really are helping not only the developer, we're helping the community.
Yeah, and that's how great of a feeling that is, right?
Yeah, definitely.
How great of a feeling that is. And that's, I share the same sentiment. That's what this business. You can make good money, but it's about helping people, as I say. What's the one thing you hate about this business? If there was one thing that besides her going through an Excel spreadsheet every night and saying, "Where is this deal at?" What's the one thing you don't like about this business?
Yeah, paperwork and filling applications. We built some links into our website that the client, he can go in and input his information, and that's a beauty. But sometimes they print it out, they send it by PDF, they don't complete it, so then we need to input that. So yeah, the paperwork, but you have to do it.
Yeah, you do have to do it. All right, so here comes the part where I'm just going to ask you some really one-off questions, and non-related to this business, just to kind of get an idea of, or get our audience a little better feel of knowing who you guys are. So you ready?
Yeah.
I'm just going to shoot some questions out to you. If you weren't in finance, right? Let's just say if you could wake up one day and do anything as a career, or be anything you want, what would it be? Like, if you want to be a soccer player, or you want to be whatever, what would it be as a career?
Oh, I want to be a National Geographic photographer.
Ah, you like to take pictures.
Yeah.
Very good.
I would love to be an astronomer. I love stars, planets. So that's my thing.
That's cool. Yeah, you know what? I share that sentiment. I would love to be either an astronaut, but the problem with me is I can't even take a roller coaster without getting sick. So there's no way I would survive the training it takes. They go through some crazy training to take a rocket ship up there. But yeah. I like space as well. Okay. What about tell me each of you one thing in each of your lives that someone wouldn't normally know about you guys. Like, I mean, we know, she's a doctor and, we know who you are now. I mean, what's one thing without just looking at you wouldn't normally think that you guys are into, or a hobby, or what?
Yeah, well, I love people, but I'm extremely shy. When I got the contact from Joe for this interview, my God, I thought about 3 hours. I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to do that? And I talked to her.
You don't seem like it. You don't. I mean, I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, I'm
very personable.
Yeah, I would say I'm kind of good public speaking to a lot of people, but before I speak to a lot of people, you don't want to see me. I'm a mess. Like 10 minutes before, I'm so sweating and nervous. And
how nervous was he before this interview? Was he really nervous?
He was.
All right. What about you? What's something normally we would know?
I'm crazy about plants.
Plants?
Yes, plants. I have more than 200 plants here in house.
Wow.
I have to wake up 1 hour earlier to be able to water my plants, move them if I need to.
She talks to them.
I talk to them, so I can. Yes, so I can be at time at my job at the hospital. So that's one thing that not everybody knows about me.
Wow. Well, that's great. That's phenomenal. Yeah. Do you garden at all, or just plants? Do you like to garden at all? Are you into that?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right. And I guess I'll ask both of you this question too. If you could sit down with somebody that was living or deceased, currently living or deceased, anybody in the world that ever existed, and just sit down with them and kind of, for a dinner, pick their brain. We'll start with her first, ladies first. Who would it be?
I think FDR.
FDR. Okay.
I think, yes.
Yeah.
We admire him a lot.
Yeah. I think Benjamin Franklin, I'm amazed at all the things that he accomplished in different fields.
He was a Renaissance man, wasn't he?
Definitely, and all those ideas, but the guy was an editor, and then a politician, and then statesman and scientist, and I'm like, my God, time management. How can he? Of course, it takes a special kind of individual to do that, but I'm amazed how he could do so many things with his time. So I would make that question. How did you do all of that? It's amazing.
That is a fascinating one. All right. Well, we've now come to that time in the podcast where we're going to kind of flip the script here, and you guys could ask me any question, personal, whatever. It's been a couple of years since we've last spoken. So now's the time, and don't be shy. We don't want you to be shy. Ask anything you want, and I will do my best to answer it.
Yeah, I have a question for you. Basically, it's definitely you have gotten a lot of success. You've done a great business model. It looks like you really enjoy what you do. But something that amazes me is that whenever I see you, you're a positive guy, or at least that's what you communicate, body language as you speak. And I think, how can you keep so positive? You know, I know that everybody has some down days, and all of us,
Absolutely.
but in general terms, when I see the people around you, you know, they're all positive because of the leadership. So how do you keep yourself motivated to do all these things, new things that you're doing, which require for you to be very positive a lot of the time? How do you do?
That's a great question. I think it boils down to mindset. I mean, I think mindset is one of the most powerful things on this earth is mindset, right? Mindset is everything. Um, I'm also a big believer that if you're passionate about something, uh, and obviously what comes with passion is positivity, that spreads, like that spreads widely. I mean, it rubs off on other people. If other people see you're passionate about either accomplishing a goal or an objective, or doing something new and exciting, that naturally spreads, right? That those vibes, if you will, spread. And for me, I think, and I've been asked, not this, I don't know if I've been asked this question, right, Joe? I don't think no, but I've been asked similar context type questions, and it boils down to, number one, never be complacent.
Yeah.
Because I every day think about this business, meaning all my businesses. How can I improve on this? How can I do something different? How can we make the training better? How can we make something better for our graduates? And we're always thinking of ideas. And complacency is the death of a business. And so when you're always kind of trying to do something new, and sometimes they fail, for sure, sometimes they fail, but it keeps you excited. It keeps you excited when you're always trying to improve upon something. And for me, when you have down days, I'll tell you one thing that really has really worked for me. Of course, I have down days. Everybody does. And when I have down days, sometimes I just sit back and I think of really low points in my life. When I say low points, just experiences you've went through. And I say, gee, you know what? Yeah, okay, we lost this, man, the borrower walked at the closing table. He's not going to close. And you kind of curse about it and whatever and smash some papers. But at the end of the day, I always think back, gee, it's not as bad as that one time, where it's not as bad as that experience that I went through when I was 7 years old or 10 years old. At the end of the day, it's not that bad, right? And so if I think of my worst point in my life, that always gets me through the stuff that we think are down days, but in the grand scheme of things, they're not really.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Chris, did you imagine yourself doing something different?
Could I imagine?
Yes.
Well, is it kind of the question of if I could wake up and do anything I want besides this business? Is that kind of the question?
Yes.
I mean, first of all, I love what I do. I love what I do, and I wouldn't, if I had to do it all over again, I would do this all over again. I absolutely love what I do, in the lending business, in the training business, marketing business. I love what I do, and I love the people that are around, support me on that. But if I could wake up and just get into something else automatically without having to go through the skill training, wherewithal, it would absolutely be a race car driver.
Oh.
F1. It'd be an F1 race, like Lewis Hamilton or any of those people. But those guys start at 5 years old, racing. So I'm not there, and I never will be. But it's good. It's good to watch on TV.
Good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, guys, I think that's just about the time we have for this part. I want to thank you both for, really being big supporters of our program, and you guys are very successful in your own right. And thank you for being on this podcast. I think a lot of people will have some very positive takeaways, whether they're existing graduates or future graduates. So I appreciate you sharing your time with us in Panama. I'm sure the weather there is beautiful.
It is.
It is. And thank you, Chris. Thank you for leading all these efforts for us, for all the graduates. We really, really appreciate what you do. yeah, we're extremely happy. Anything that we can do for CCTG, we need to come down to go to Albany again.
Come to the new office.
Yeah.
Yes.
To see you guys, maybe participate one day in the training. That would be lovely to, to refresh some things. So yeah, thank you very much.
We'd be honored to have you. So.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. All right, everybody. That's it for this episode of Entrepreneurs in Finance. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can see weekly and monthly new videos and podcasts that come out. And don't forget to download our app. We have a CCTG app. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know we had a CCTG app? Yeah, that you could download off your iPhone and your Android phone. So look forward to more good content coming out. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye-bye. There are just too many commercial loan brokers that don't have a damn clue of what they're doing. All we're trying to do here is better the industry for everybody. At the end of the day, you can make great money in this industry, but in the end, it's all about helping people. You know, people always say, Chris, how can I be a successful broker? It's 2 words, hard work and dedication. If you don't like talking to people, you probably shouldn't be in this business.